And welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Monday, October 4th. I'm your host for today's program, Paul DeMain. Many of the stories read here can also be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com. Here are the news stories for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources around the country. A North Dakota woman has been sentenced to 3 years probation for embezzling from the Spirit Lake Casino and Resort in Fort Taunton. Harriet Demarce pled guilty in federal court to felony theft from a tribal organization. She was arrested in April. Court documents say the thefts occurred between July of 2009 and January 2010, while the 44-year-old Demarce was an employee of the resort. Authorities said Demarce had access to an override code she used to cancel out charges on her personal debit card for hotel and restaurant services. U.S. District Judge Ralph Erickson ordered Demarce to pay back more than $1,500. 5 tribes in Oklahoma have received monetary awards, including $720,000 from the Environmental Protection Agency. The Miami, the Modoc, and the Seneca-cayuga tribes and the Wyandot Nation each have received $120,000. The EPA says the tribes will use the money to help implement tribal-wide recycling programs, develop tribal indoor air and education and outreach programs, update environmental codes and ordinances, and train staff on environmental protection issues. The Seneca-Cayuga tribe will also use the money for implementing solid waste cleanup activities, conducting baseline monitoring for indoor air contaminants, and developing emergency management plans. The EPA has given the Cherokee Nation $240,000, officials say, so the tribe will use the money to conduct its annual Intertribal Environmental Council conference and assist other tribes in developing customized tribal water quality data templates. Bullhead City, Arizona may send its prisoners to a nearby tribal jail instead of a new Mojave County lockup in Kingman because of a sharp increase in county jail fees. The City Council will consider an agreement with the Fort Mojave tribe at its meeting on October 5th. The Mojave County Daily News reports that a ceremony to sign the deal is scheduled right after the vote. City Manager Toby Courte says that only a few city prisoners will be held at the jail, but the savings will be considerable. Mojave County charges a booking fee of $65 and a per-day rate of $80 for each prisoner. The tribe's jail will charge only a $50 booking fee and $58 per day. The South Dakota State Education Department is collaborating with teachers, school administrators, and others to take a new approach to improving academic achievement and graduation rates among American Indian students who, as a group, lag behind South Dakota's non-Indian students. 5-year goals and plans to improve American Indian students' performance will be put together by the Indian Education Advisory Council, a group of educators from across the state who have a lot of experience in teaching those students, said Luann Wardell, Director of Indian Education for the State Education Department. One of the goals of an education initiative started in 2006 by Governor Mike Rounds was to improve education for American Indian students, but the effort has lacked focus. Officials now want to give that more attention. The Ute Mountain Ute tribe has received a second grant to improve law enforcement on its reservation. The $167,000 grant from the U.S. Department of Justice is for the tribe to hire a sworn officer to police the reservation for 3 years. The officer will work under the purview of the Federal Bureau of Indian Affairs. The Durango Herald reports that when fully staffed, the BIA will have 11 officers plus 2 supplied by the tribe. The tribe is looking at cross-deputizing the BIA officers so they can arrest, not just detain, people suspected of violating state laws. Congress has passed legislation that will allow more disabled American Indian veterans and their families to get housing assistance. The legislation cleared the Senate recently and is now headed to President Barack Obama for his signature. The House measure, sponsored by Arizona Representative Ann Kirkpatrick, was approved earlier this year. Assistance for American Indian veterans was limited to families making less than 80% of the median income of their area. Compensation for veterans with service-related disabilities or for families of those killed in service also was treated as income. The bill excludes disability and survivor compensation, which Kirkpatrick says pushed many over the allowable limits to get into the housing programs. Kirkpatrick sought the changes at the request of the Navajo Housing Authority. And just a reminder that we have an update with Ron Leith, a Wolfchild plaintiff in the Loyal Dakota lawsuit against the United States government. As soon as we can get a good connection on that interview, we'll do that and bring it to you. And that is the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. We want to say P. Nagigi for coming here and watching us. Come back again soon.